Alrighty, so I'm just gonna share my screen. Okay, so when you open the repository, you can see one icon, so a Jupyter notebook. You can see two audio files as well, so that's all you need to see. So this is the Jupyter notebook that I have opened. Okay, so welcome to a very intro-level speech recognition tutorial. So this is very like from scratch. You don't need to know anything, literally anything. So if you want that, you're in the right place. Okay, what is speech recognition? Basically, it's a computer search speech recognition or speech-to-text model, which lets you program it, and it can process human speech into written format or vice versa. So, for example, we've all seen YouTube enclosed captions, for example. So when that person is talking, you can see the text. So that's basically it, speech recognition. It mainly uses NLP, natural language processing, which I'm sure some of you have heard about it. Especially, basically that, but with audio. So yeah, that's that. So are speech recognition and voice recognition the same thing? The answer is not really. Voice recognition is something you will use with devices like Amazon, Alexa, like Google Dot, or even Siri. So it basically listens to your voice in real time and responds, right? But there's a trick here because, for example, Siri is modeled based off of your voice. So for example, if I talk and you guys talk, it will know. So the person's voice is really, important here, hence why we call it voice recognition. Yeah, so that's a little bit more complex algorithm. For speech recognition, it's just basic NLP. It just converts an audio to text and vice versa, and well, it's not its purpose to understand what's the intent behind someone's, words. For example, if, I'm angry or I'm saying something sarcastically, speech recognition will not know that, but voice recognition would understand. You can see a couple of examples here. So speech recognition, for example, we have note-taking or writing. This is specifically for business meetings. Instead of someone just writing everything down, your speech recognition model will do that for you because it literally just writes everything you're saying, which is really cool. Voice recognition, as I just explained, like Apple's voice assistant Siri, or Google Dot or Amazon Alexa, like you give it calendar updates or reminders, and it's basically trained based off of your voice. Okay, and here we can see some technical differences, it's like more detailed basically. In speech recognition, it hears our voice, and then it does speech enhancement, basically like, of course, when we're talking, it could be a car passing by, or maybe it's windy, something like that. So that's called speech enhancement. And then we have feature extraction, and you might be like, okay, how does it understand? How does it understand how to extract features? Basically, our voice is a sound, right? And sounds are analog, right? So analog signals, and that's how it basically does it. It converts our voice, our sound, into an analog signal, and then from there, it can extract the features, basically. And then, phonetic unit recognition using NLP, and then it would give us the text that, we just spoke. On voice recognition here, you can see a whole lot more. Each speaker has its own database, or maybe it's a really big database and it's partitioned, basically. So it depends on what model we're trying to do. And so the first two steps, as you can see, is the same. So they do have some similarities, obviously. Yeah, and each person has a speaker ID, So, that's how it understands who you are. Any questions so far? I'm going to take that as a no. Okay, now let's get to actual business, right? So, as you know, this event is about speech recognition and not voice recognition. Of course, we will do voice recognition in later events, but for now, let's stick with speech recognition. And of course, with Python, there are quite a few packages actually available that we can use. For example, API AI, we have Google Cloud Speech, we have speech recognition, we have Watson, we have Wit. So a lot of options. Specifically, API AI and Wit, and we can say Assembly AI, are very powerful, and they have way more capabilities than speech recognition alone. For example, sentiment analysis, the one that we just talked about, how, when someone is speaking angrily or sarcastically or whatever, that's called sentiment analysis. And it's actually pretty complex. So yeah, they do have this feature, hence, they're more complex to work with. So that's why, we're not gonna explore them now. Of course, in future events, we will dig a lot deeper. But for now, we're gonna stick with speech recognition module. Why, you might ask? First of all, it's very simple to use. It has a great interface because, it has a very rich backend. So that's why it's really easy for us to do. It has a great accuracy as well. And we can just use Google Recognize, which is a method you'll see a lot in this event. So that's why we're just going to use speech recognition. First of all, you need to install it. So you can just run this. And because I already have it, I'm going to get this. But for you, it might take a minute. After that, we're going to import it for us to actually use it. And I'm just going to give it an alias as SR, speech recognition. And here you can check if you actually installed it correctly or not. So I'm just going to run it. And I have version 381. Don't worry if you don't have the same version. It really doesn't matter. Okay, so far, are you guys good? Did you install it? Oh, yeah, exactly. You should use the exclamation because that's how we're telling Jupyter that, hey, I'm using your terminal. So I'm trying to install something. It's not Python. So yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, I think we're good. Now, okay, let's go. So now I'm creating an instance of the library or a module, whatever that you want to call it. So let's create an instance. So SR recognizer. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a recognizer. And we're calling it R. I'm just going to run it. Also, in the repository, as I said, we have hardware.wav, and it's audio. So I'm just going to play it for you guys.
The stale smell of old beer lingers.
It takes heat to bring out the odor.
A cold dip restores health and zest.
A salt pickle tastes fine with ham.
Tacos al pastor are my favorite.
A zestful food is the hot cross bun.
As you can see, it's a very random audio, and there's a reason for that. The person is using very precise words, so it's not way too easy or way too hard. And the like z, there are things that are very, you can say tricky, so that's why. That's it. It does include all the, yeah, it does. Alrighty, so I'm just gonna use the audio file method here, and I'm just gonna run it, and I stored it into Harvard because Harvard created it. And here I'm sure you know what the with method is. It's basically for opening, creating, or modifying files. And yeah, hence why we're using it. So I'm just calling Harvard source instead, and audio is equal to R record. Basically, it means, hey, whatever that's inside the audio, just extract it, put it into audio, and let me do like, modify it later on. So that's what's happening here. I'm just checking audio's type, and as you can see, it has its own type. It's speech recognition audio data. So yeah, that's good to know. Always you need to have it. Okay, so yeah, as I said, recognize Google. It's a method that we're going to use, and speech recognition works perfectly with it. Basically, it's a pre-made state-of-the-art model that does speech recognition for us. So let's do it. Guys, can you speak a little bit? Sorry, I'm sorry. Okay. So let's run it. Takes a minute. And yeah, there we have it. We literally just created a speech recognition model, which is really cool to me. It's exactly what the audio said. So that's really cool. Sometimes maybe we want the duration of, maybe the audio is like 1 hour. We always say maybe don't want the whole thing. So you can actually change the duration of it here. So audio or record, source, and duration equals to 4. So the first 4 seconds only. It's the same like record thing that we're using from the speech recognition module. And then I'm just doing the same thing to see what happens, but just the first 4 seconds. And as you can see, I only get the first 4 seconds, which is cool. One other thing that is, good to know is that, of course, it doesn't have only one guess. I mean, the recognize Google thing. It has several possibilities of what something can be. It just shows us the most probable and the one that it's most confident about. So if you just add show all and equal to true, you can run it. And as you can see, we get like 4 alternative options here. First of all, we can see the one that it gave us here, and it's 93% confident that this is what it is, and it's correct, so nice. Yeah, so we have like 4 other possibilities here, which I think is really cool to examine. For example, here beer is heard beard, but you can tell that not here. No, we can't actually recognize Google. No, that's a good question though. But it's usually less than I think 70% when it doesn't say it. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So beard, we can see why it thought so. We have still instead of stale. Again, very similar. We have drinkers, which is really cool because it thought so because of beer, because they're close, like meaning wise. So that's fine. And lingus, which I have no idea what it is, to be honest. Okay. So now we want to get audio from our device's microphones. So yeah, as I said, so these were like pre-recorded audios, and sometimes we want it to be now, right? So like YouTube is real time as well. So we need to work with our microphones. So I'm just gonna give you a 2 minutes time to install all of this because I know it takes a little bit, long. So yeah, go ahead, follow the instructions based on if you have Windows or Mac. If you have Linux, I think the thing with Windows is probably the same thing. Otherwise, just tell me. I'm just gonna find it, or you can Google. Yeah. So 2 minutes. Go ahead. Also, let me know when you've installed it. Okay, I see. Yeah, it happens a lot. So we can just use this instead of this command that you can see here. Just run this instead of pip install PyIDEO. Oh, that is weird. Can you send me, so at the end, it gives you an error, like explains what it is. For example, like I couldn't find this file or I couldn't find that file. That is weird. What is your setup? Is it a PC, like a Windows or Mac or Linux? Okay, Windows 11. Okay. So you get the same error with just the pure pip install PyAudio? Okay. I see. Let me just do a quick Google. Maybe I can figure it out. Oh, okay. As you wish. If you couldn't figure it out, just please message me on Discord so we can figure it out together. Okay. Yeah, it is a very problematic. Did you guys install port audio before that? Just a second. Let's Google. Let's say port audio, not Pi audio. Port audio installation. So you can find it from here because maybe your port audio is the problem and not the Pi audio. Happens a lot. So here it explains everything on how to install it. I hope that helps. Okay. You can just, I tried to install pointer and I had the same error. Okay, yeah, so probably, okay, you have the same error. Okay, got it. It is a very problematic module actually. So if you search, I'm sure all the errors are gonna pop up because again, like even when I was installing it like a few weeks back, I had like 4 different errors and I had to solve it. So, but I found that this could be very helpful for you. So just let me know. Anyways, let's test the module. So like when you install it, what happens? Basically, oh, I need to, yeah. Okay, so I've already installed it. So let's do that. Hello. So what's happening? What's happening? Alrighty. So as you can see here, yeah, it listens to me and then it says like, got it now to recognize it. And then it says, you said hello, or like you said, what's happening, what's happening. Yeah, so it works. Pretty accurate, I would say. Okay, thank you. Okay. And then I'm just going to create another instance of speech recognition because I just want to work with microphone instead of pre-recorded audios here. So doing that. Okay, so this is my new instance. Okay, so here, as you can see, I just called it mic and I used SR, speech recognition module, and I accessed microphone method here. So I did that. Okay, so here, what it says is that I'm gonna say, like, the user is going to say something, and then I'm going to listen and store it in audio, right? So let's run it. Hi, this is an audio. Okay, let's see if recognize Google. Yeah, I did it. Hi, this is an audio. It listened to me. Okay, just to wrap things up for now. So we understood what speech recognition is, what's the difference with voice recognition. And then we know that like there's several packages on Python that we can use, and we chose speech recognition. Very creative name, by the way. And then we messed around with how you can work with pre-recorded audios. And now we learned how to use a microphone to do so. Yeah, I bet it was easier than you thought. Because, I mean, I feel like it's made pretty easy for us to understand. Easier, at least. I don't know. Okay, so we have, you know, the very basic skills that we need for speech recognition and using it. And I thought to reinforce what we learned already, we can create a guesser game with audio input. So I'm sure all of us know, you know, the game that we all created probably with JavaScript, with Python, whatever, that the computer guesses something out of a list or a dictionary or strings, and then like you have to guess it. So we're doing the same thing, but with audio this time. Yes, we can, Oscar. That's actually a very good question. So when you're listening, so on the, wait, let me show you. Okay, so we only have 10 minutes. Sad music. Okay, yeah, so here, let me show you. Yeah, on the record thing, you can add another thing, which is speed. And it has like, so you can say like 0.5, you can say 1.5, with, of course, a recorded audio. Not like, you know, when we're speaking. Okay. So I actually made this quite easy. So I like put in the codes that were pure Pythonic, and I figured we just do the things that are related to what we learned today instead of just figuring out all the Python stuff. Okay, so this is like a function that I just created. It takes recognizer and microphone, and what it returns is a dictionary with 3 keys: success, error, transcription. Success is whether we were successfully connected to the API of speech recognition. Error is when, like, if we had an error or something, because, you know, we might not connect to the API, or we might, you know, just don't recognize what the person is saying. Maybe it's like in another language, and because we're using English here, so maybe it just didn't recognize what it was. So we have to take that into account. Of course, transcription, if we like encounter an error, we're just gonna return none. Otherwise, the transcription of what the person said is going to be there. And I'm sure if you know, like, raise errors, you understand what this is. We're just checking if, we're using the correct recognizer and microphone here as a type, so there are type errors. Yeah, that's that. Okay, so this is actually very important. So as I said, so a car might drive by, or maybe it's windy and the person's voice is not clear enough. That's why we have something called adjust for ambient noise, which is exactly what it sounds like. So it adjusts your voice or enhances your voice, basically. So we're doing that, and then here we're listening to the user. So, and we're, putting it into audio, and then that's the response we were talking about. This is an exception as well, in case we have an error. And if it's API, we say API unavailable. This is the request error that we get if we can't connect to the API. And unknown value error is when we just don't understand what the user has said. And then we're just returning the response. Okay, so these are the very random words that I just chose out of nowhere to, for the computer to pick one, and then we have to guess it. And they can guess 3 times. Like, they're gonna lose either way. Like, otherwise, I mean. Okay, so this is our turn now. We have to create a recognizer and mic instance. So I'm just gonna call it recognizer. It's R recognizer. And we have microphone, R microphone. Very easy. We know that so far? And here we're just choosing a random word from the words list that we just created. Well, technically the computer does this. And this is just showing the user what the, instruction is basically. And here, we don't want to just, we want the user to read the instructions. So we want to wait 3 seconds before we actually start the whole thing. So yeah, we're gonna do that. Okay. I can't type. Okay, I can now. Time, sleep, 3 minutes, 3 seconds, sorry. And here we're this is the actual algorithm that I know a lot of us know and went through. So we're just supposed to, guess the word that we want to, we have to say something and the computer will check if that's the same thing, right? So we're gonna do that. Sorry that I keep doing that, just giving errors that the Zoom is gonna die, so. Okay, so we're gonna use the function that we created here, of course. Actually, the whole thing, because we created the same recognizer and microphone with that names. So, where were we? Error handling. Where's the for loop? That's the for loop. Okay, here. Okay, and then we need to do that. Yeah, that's I think all we need from that side, and then here we're just checking if that's the same thing. Of course, you can go through the code again if you have any questions. They're all just Pythonic. They don't have to do anything with speech recognition. What happened here? Oh, this is the problem. All right, I see what the problem is. So it's SR and not R because we're using the actual module and not the instance. Makes sense. Sky. Cat. Dog. Yeah, I lost. So it was thinking of snake. I had 3 guesses. It understood what I said and said, nope, try again. So yeah, that was the game. And we are done. I'm gonna upload the filled out notebook to the same repository after this event. And we have 3 minutes to spare. So if you have any questions, please let me know.
Hi, I have a question. I know this is kind of off topic and I came late, but is the speech recognition anywhere where we're able to program to make it sing? I know it's kind of off chart, but is
Make
that
it
a possibility? Sing?
Make it sing. Yes, you can, but that falls under voice recognition and not speech recognition. Because you have to deal with the analog signals that come out of the voice, and then you have to make it high pitch or low pitch. So that deals that's voice recognition. But yeah, that's totally possible.
But where could I access that information as far as?
That's a very good question. I would say look into API AI. It's a module, so API AI. I think they do that. I'm not sure, but I feel like I've seen it there.
So it's voice recognition API module.
Yes, it's both speech and voice. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. So we have you're welcome. Thank you for coming. And Oscar recognizes yes, and that's actually one of the topics that we're going to discuss in this upcoming month in May. You can, yes, that's still speech recognition, but then we need to get help with NLP a lot, like directly. But yeah, we can do that. But again, we have to deal with a little bit of voice recognition as well. Thank you for joining. Alrighty, any more questions? I mean, we have 1 minute still. Alrighty, I think no more questions. I mean, in case you do, can you share the repo again? In case you don't have our Discord, I'm just gonna share it here. Here you go. Please ask your questions on Discord. I will answer all of them. So yeah, I think the meeting is gonna end. So see you on Discord, and bye-bye.